Hello, I'm Omri, and I'm drawing VTubers again. As you can probably see, there's like a couple other VTubers that are ready to color, and I'll get back to them. And once I'm done this one, or at least once I'm taking a break from this one. And there's someone mowing their lawn super loudly. Hopefully you don't hear that. And all you hear is me. And maybe my pen scratches. My pen tablet scratches. I have a list things I wanted to talk about today. Can't read my own handwriting. Oh, right. I have a Discord now. And, oh, the lawnmower's coming back. I have a Discord now. And part of one of my channels on my server is tech help. Because, I'm assuming like most of the audience so far has been like other VTubers. So, I thought it'd be nice that we all like help each other out. And also, something I did want to touch on. They're mowing that lawn really well out there. Something I wanted to touch on was just about like what was about tech. And don't worry, this will be cleaner in the end. I'm always messy to start. Oh my god, they're so loud. That's the wrong brush. So something. I don't want this to seem. Wait, I'm gonna make myself smaller. Okay. All right. Just so I fit on the screen better. I might change that in editing. I don't know yet. I don't want this to seem like I have a beef with someone in specific. It's just something that came to my attention, and for the like 10 people that will watch this, I just want to put my 2 cents out there. I think part of the appeal of VTubing is that it has such a low barrier of entry. And what I mean by that is I keep looking over to see like my phone is still capturing. Okay. I mean by that is that you don't really require a ton of money to get started. And I hope you could probably hear the scratchiness of my tablet. It's getting old. What was I saying? Tools like OBS, like everyone uses, are free. They're free for everyone. Of course, there's obviously expensive plugins you can use, but they're free, and the documentation, while does require some like prior knowledge and like audio editing and stuff, it's not that bad. It's pretty user friendly. And now she looks all scary. I bring this up because there was something going around about how you shouldn't use I feel bad because if I don't want this to feel like I'm calling someone out. It's just something that I feel like I want to offer an alternate perspective. Someone, and again, this is like a thread I heard about. I didn't actually see it myself, but someone was saying you shouldn't use USB microphones like a Snowball or a Yeti. And those mics are a little expensive, yes, like a couple $100, I think. But they're more affordable than other options. And from what was shown to me, like I said, a friend showed the thread to me. I don't know the full context. Was that it was really heavily implying that content not made in a not made with a USB microphone was just inherently better. And I'll say, as a ghost with experience using both really crappy equipment and really professional equipment, that is not true. um, so, do you have more control when you get like a professional audio setup? Of course. Do you know what that means? Probably not. I don't even really know what that means. What, like a professional audio setup would sound amazing, sure, but there's a lot that's left into your control, which means a lot of it is up to your skill level. Which, this is not trying to be an insult or like a put down in any way. It means that if you do have a really complicated setup and you save like, I don't know, thousands of dollars for this like really professional audio setup, it's not going to be any better than a USB mic or even your laptop mic or earbud or headphone mic, because odds are, if you're starting out, you don't know how to use that equipment. And I think that's a barrier that our barrier I've seen, a barrier I've encountered a lot, especially doing like game design stuff. Especially doing game design and stuff. What was I saying? Oh, game design stuff. Especially doing game design and stuff. 3D modeling, I noticed it was real bad when I started. um, like you pick up Blender. Blender is free, and you start and you open it for the first time, and you have your panic attack because you're like, I don't know what these buttons do, and then you look it up, and on the Stack Exchange Blender forum, because I went there a lot, people were like, you find a thread on there that says, why does art made in Blender just suck a lot more compared to Maya? Like I've seen that a couple times. And be like, well, why does why does like Blender just entirely just make people make like have just worse art? People with Blender portfolios have like worse portfolios. And Unity is just a big problem because people inherently because you have to pay to get the Unity. Where's that little dot coming from? Oh, okay. Because you have to pay to get the Unity logo removed from like your loading screen of the game, all the developers that were developing their game for free had the Unity logo. When you develop a game for free, you don't have a lot of resources. You're probably pretty new, and this is you're probably pretty new. You don't have a lot of resources, and you definitely don't have professional equipment and professional studio to like back you up. And what that means is that your game is probably going to look like it was made by a beginner. You know, like think back to like old Xbox Live games, which I love, that are kind of just trashy. That was sort of the stigma for Unity at the time. But the reason why that was, the reason behind that is because it was free, and Unity has a much lower barrier of entry for people starting out. So yeah, things are gonna look a little weirder in the beginning, like when the software's sort of first getting traction. But eventually, like really impressive games have come out using new game engine. No, I'll fix my hair in my face. and they slowly, developers like work very hard and very consistently on Unity. The developers making Unity, but also the game developers using Unity as a tool to get its reputation up. But the thing is, it was already pretty good. I mean, it was lacking a lot of features at the beginning, but it was already like pretty decent when it started. So, where am I going with this? My problem with people, from what I saw, implying that, you know, like a Yeti mic or a Snowball or any USB mic is inferior is misleading. It's not inferior. It's cheaper. It's easier to use, which is a big plus. Um, Alongside being cheaper, and also, I don't know, saying that you need you need a splurge to get this huge setup, or your work will just not compare to others, feels very elitist and not very pro creator. And I think it gave me the same sort of vibes as someone saying, you can't use MS Paint to draw. Like, it looks terrible. Don't use MS Paint to draw. But that's how people started. Like, a lot of really big artists that I can't name off the top of my head started with MS Paint. There's nothing wrong with MS Paint. It's a simple free tool, and it's for everyone to use. And just like any tool, like, the more you use it, the better you're gonna get. So yeah, when you start out, any tool you pick is gonna be hard to use and not gonna be super great. But that's gonna be true even if you get a couple $1,000 setup. And what is it gonna say? Uh, the point is, I I saw again from what my friend showed me that a lot of people were jumping on this who were obviously beginners, being like, "Oh, I didn't know," or "Man, I just spent all this money on a Yeti or Snowball or whatever. Now I gotta throw it away, I guess." And the person who first suggested it, maybe I think once or twice said, "Nah, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal." But in his main, like, tweet, I guess, it feels weird, really weird just saying that word out loud. He It was really strongly implied, and a lot of people did get the implication that no, this person knows what he's talking about. He also says these are bad, so they're bad, right? And I think what's important, especially with the internet being as big as it is that people can claim anything. They can claim to be anything. I might not even be dead. You don't know. But people want to trust other people. People see someone going out of their way to give you advice, and they think, okay, oh, this person's being nice. What reason do I have to doubt them? I don't want to doubt them. That makes me feel bad. I want to believe that this person is doing it kindness. And maybe they are. Maybe they don't. Maybe that's just their opinion and they don't realize how it affects others. But I said a bit. But the unfortunate thing is people do take what you say to heart and they take it at face value. So what may have been to that person a statement on the fact that they want a better like quality setup than just what a USB mic could offer, came across either intentionally or unintentionally as a almost a put down for people who don't that kind of equipment. And that's kind of my biggest beef with that. Again, I don't want, really don't want to start like arguments or anything. Because, I mean, yeah, professional equipment is always going to sound, is always going to be able to sound better than like what you can get off like Amazon for a couple $100. But there is a lot more to it than that. There's skill level. There's, well, obviously a space. Like a lot of like a Yeti mic takes up like, what I'm like looking at it now, like a couple inches on my desk space. And full disclaimer, I'm sitting here on a fold out chair on a desk slash not a desk, just like a everyday table. And my like I don't have a lot of space. I have my laptop and my phone perched up on cardboard boxes to hold them up in the right place. I do not have an expensive setup. I'm also not an audio mixer master person, so my audio is not perfect. And I realize that. I also mumble a lot. So even if my audio is really good, sometimes it doesn't come through because I don't know how to talk good. But I have everything I need. I don't need professional audio equipment. I need a microphone, which I have. I need a phone or webcam, which I have, and I need a computer, which I have. And I mean, odds are, if you're watching this, you probably already have a phone or a computer. And your computer already probably has a mic in it. Or maybe you have earbuds or earphones. They probably already have a mic in it. And OBS is free. That's really all you need, is what I'm trying to say. And I can see, because I felt it when I was reading that thread for the first time. This sort of fear, this like fear of inadequacy, that, oh, this person knows my secret, that I'm not good because I just got a Yeti mic. This person knows that I'm not, I'm doing this as a hobby because I don't have the most expensive equipment. It feels like almost like a call out to the people reading it. Like, yeah, I know what you thought was good. You were wrong though. And it does make you feel insecure. I mean, it made me feel very insecure. I was like, oh, I guess I was wrong. But going back to what I said, saying that's very anti-creator, and going back to the example of like, you can't use MS Paint to draw. Your drawings will look terrible. You have to start somewhere. And I'll be honest, I did some of the research. A USB microphone is a pretty decent start. It's a pretty good start. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm not an expert in audio or anything of the sort. I just go by my instinct. Well, I mean, I have a friend that helped like, set things up. But also, I mean, I'm just going, my counterpoint is more in favor of like the emotional side. Like, I don't technically know what the exact limitations of a USB mic are. Like, I don't. I do know what it's like to not have enough money to afford the best things and how that can be really discouraging, especially when you're starting out, because it does make you feel lesser. It feels like you have, you're 2 steps behind everyone else. And that really sucks because you just don't have the money or the skill to do the better thing, the cooler thing, despite how much you really want to. You're motivated and passionate. I'm saying you, but I'm talking about myself. You know, I, I still do get like self conscious of like, I can't even stream because I don't have a computer that can handle it. And it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel bad that I don't have enough money to like do something like that. I feel like, oh, well, if I'm really gonna be an artist like this, I need the best equipment. I need the newest Photoshop or whatever. It makes me feel like I'm behind. Like it's not like there's something working against me where I can't achieve what I want to because of things outside of my control. I mean, I know money is like kind of in your control, but like, I don't know, life happens. It's not always in your control. And I think the lawnmower is back. Or at least I hope that me sort of talking about this again for like the 10 people that are going to see it realize that nothing's holding you back. I mean, nothing equipment wise. Or at least, let me say it like this: nothing is holding you back unless you let it. Like, and that's a really kind of scary statement. Even like not too long ago, I would have been really intimidated by that because it puts all the pressure on you, like whether or not you succeed. But that also will save you from people who are well meaning. I have no doubt that they've wanted, the person who like started this whole thing wanted to help, but are giving you advice that isn't the best for you. The attitude of I'm in control will protect you from that kind of mindset of, oh, this new person has to know. This new person, they seem to know what they're talking about. I'll follow them. It's better to have some belief in yourself so you're more resilient to that kind of thing. Not that, again, that the person was wrong to do any of that. I saw a lot of people panicking in like the replies to that, being like, oh, I gotta get rip me. I just bought the Yeti. I just bought the snowball or whatever. I guess that was a waste of money because it's not. It's a good mic. And I guess to tie all this back in to a self promo, my Discord has that tech help channel for that reason. You know, I'm not an expert in anything, but if you have a question, you could always hop on and ask, and I'll do my best to help you. Or who, if anyone else ever joins, like they'll do their best to help you. You don't have to. I guess my worry, I keep repeating that sentence, with a thread like that and seeing everyone's sort of panicked reactions, was that you don't have to worry of whether or not your stuff is good enough or high quality enough to do what you want to do. Like, obviously, there's going to be a disconnect between like what you want and what turns out. If you're an artist, like nothing I draw ever turns out exactly the way I want it to. But just because I can't afford Photoshop doesn't mean that I'm inherently worse off than other artists. I'm trying to say this in like one concise sentence that I can like. put out into the world, because I do want people to hear this message. Because again, I'm worried that people. I'm gonna move on from. Actually, no, I think I got it. I want to spread this message out because I'm worried that people are gonna be scared by that information and misled by it, and spend maybe a lot more money than they can on something they don't need to spend it on. You don't need the best equipment to do what you want to do. It doesn't make your work or your content any worse. Like, your content, how do I say this? There's more important things than having the best equipment. And just because you don't have the best equipment does not mean that you can't make good content. That's just wrong. It's objectively wrong. Everyone's capable of making good art. Think of the people who make gorgeous paintings on MS Paint. You know, it's up to you. And I don't want anyone to feel like their lack of a professional audio setup is going to stop them from making something worthwhile, because that's not true. It's worthwhile because you made it. No matter how good or bad it is, it's worthwhile because you took the time and effort out of your day to make something. Even if it's on a crappy headphone mic, or you did it on the floor of your basement, and or you you did it in like MS Paint, whatever it is, it's worth it because you did it. You put in the effort. It's not better because it's not any better because you used the latest technology, the latest software. You know, I want people to have more faith in their abilities than to think that to to get caught up in this worry that, oh no, I don't have the best mic. I guess I'm just screwed because I guess, I mean, this one person said the audio's just not as good, or it sounds like crap. Oh no, I need to spend more money, because you don't. Not everyone has the money. Not everyone has the time to learn this expensive equipment. Not everyone, my tablet's floating away from me. Not everyone has like the skill set or even the knowledge to get started with this stuff. And the industry of art and music has already resolved this issue for the most part, with a lot of free uh, DAWs, a lot of free like modeling software, game engine software, painting software, or at least relatively cheap painting software. Like, the industry has already sort of figured this out for you, in that I'm like so focused on what I'm saying, I keep painting the same thing over and over again. And that they, smarter people, the creators before us, knew that things like money and skill and time were barriers. And those people went on to create, freeware, open source projects, things like that. And I think it's disrespectful in a sense to say, no, you can't make good stuff with a cheaper mic or a cheaper program or whatever. Because I think when people make freeware and stuff like that, they do it out of at least somewhat of a belief that any person can make good content. And I strongly, strongly believe that anyone can make something amazing. You don't need the biggest, best audio setup or the most expensive version of Photoshop, or you don't even need like a manager or anything like that. If you put love and effort into what you do, you'll get better. Like, I believe that very sincerely. And I feel like I've repeated myself 50 times this one video. It's just because it's important to me. I was very, very insecure starting out that I had a crummy laptop, can't even stream. I don't know anything about video editing or audio setup or anything. I didn't know anything about Live2D. I started that on my own. But eventually, you realize when something's important to you, it doesn't matter the tools that you have. If you have, God, it sounds so cheesy, but like if you have faith in yourself, you can make everything you want to make with the least amount of money possible or the least amount of equipment. I don't want to sound preachy. I want to help people. I want to help, and I want to be able to color this in a way that I like. Oh, okay, it's looking better. I had other topics lined up for this video, but I kind of went on a huge tangent for that. And it's just because I care a lot, and I don't want people feeling like that something so superficial, like having a better audio setup, or having the best equipment, or having a studio, is what is stopping them from becoming who they want to be and creating the things they want to make, because it's not. You could get a decent Blue Yeti is a slightly expensive but completely decent mic that you can do so much on. And yeah, it might take you there might be some limitations, sure. But I doubt very strongly that when you're starting out, you'll notice. Like, you're not gonna notice. You don't have you're starting out. Like, you don't have to jump right into the most expensive, most complicated equipment. Give yourself some time. And don't let people on Twitter, no matter what they say they know or don't know, give you advice if it's not the right advice for you. And one way you can sort of tell if advice is good for you or not is kind of how it makes you feel. Like, if you read, okay, so we go back to the thread. If you read that and you think, oh no, I have the wrong mic, and you feel bad, or you feel insecure, or ashamed, or maybe even frustrated, that's not good advice for you. Good advice, I feel like, should motivate you to do the right thing and not make you feel worse about the situation you're already in. And I mean, I'm not a life coach. I'm just a ghost in a graveyard, and someone keeps mowing their lawn like right outside, like 2 feet away from me. I hope I can help somebody. I hope I don't sound deranged, because I do have a weird way of speaking. Just don't worry too much. Trust your own instincts. You don't need to spend millions of dollars to be a VTuber. You don't need to spend millions of dollars to be a content creator in any shape or form. You could start out with the crappiest tools and still make something beautiful. You really just have to believe in yourself. And that's so cliche, but it is true. The artist, like a good artist, can make a painting out of a Crayola crown, you know? It's not the tools that make the artwork, it's the artist. Yeah, that's a nicer way of putting it. So don't let stuff like that bother you. Don't let it get to you. And always, if you're not sure, just ask for a second opinion. That's always helpful. Because you might think, oh, wow, this person sounds like they know what they're talking about. And then you go to someone else and they're like, no, what? That's stupid. And that might open your eyes. Because, dang it, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for every person out there who has a free version of Clip Studio Paint and doesn't know how to use it. I'm rooting for everyone out there who has no filters on OBS because they didn't know about filters and using their headphone setup or headphone mic. I'm rooting for everyone that has a really crappy laptop that can't play games and do anything else at the same time without lagging. I'm rooting for everyone who is sitting in a fold-out chair on in the basement recording because they got nothing better, because you don't need anything better. You're worth it. I'm rooting for you. And I didn't make much progress this video, but I've ended my rant. So thank you. Thank you for joining me on this drawing episode. I hope to see you next time.